Our first topic of the day is brought to us by FanDuel. The NFL season's here, guys. FanDuel's making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. The Browns traded Joe Flacco to the Bengals yesterday, and there are two facets of this deal that I want to dive into. The first and the most pressing is a question we may get an answer to in the next hour. Kevin Stefanski is set to speak to the media at 12:05 today, so we will react to what he says. But G. Bush, with Flacco gone, we know Dillon Gabriel is QB1. Do you think Shedeur Sanders or Bailey Zappe will end up being QB2 against Pittsburgh?
Why you do that? Why you do that, bro? Come on, man.
I think we're all going to agree on this.
Let me get close.
I guarantee you do not all agree on
the question isn't, though, who should be. It's who will be.
Hey, well, listen.
Yes.
Hey, Kevin.
Well, with the Browns, all bets are off.
Yeah.
So
Kevin,
that's true.
Let me just do you a favor. Please do not pour dirt on your own grave. Why would you do that? Why would you, at that point, you're just not even helping yourself. Why would you then put Bailey Zappe? Let's be real. Bailey Zappe is not better than Shedeur Sanders. Let's just start with that. I don't care about what old best chance to get. Bailey Zappe is a UFL, XFL, NFL Europe quarterback. He is nothing special. He's already been on your roster one time. You had him last year. He wasn't good. At the end of the day, bro, why would you then jettison you? All that does is make you look crazy. Listen, do yourself a favor. Get you a PR team or something, bro, because that's not that's going to have people looking at you. Right now, people already looking because I told you, round of applause, I told you earlier, what are y'all doing? Why are you giving Pickett love? Why are you giving him these reps? He's in Las Vegas. Then they gave Flacco the reps. He's in Cincinnati. You could have been starting Dillon Gabriel the whole time, and by the fifth week, you would have known if he was good or not, or what you was going to do. You could have been playing the young dude. Sean King sat up here and told you what he would do. Everybody done said it. Now, you got to a point where you are here. Do not do this to yourself. You are better than this. Don't have yourself looking crazy, because if you put Bailey Zappe and you elevate him off a practice squad, it's going to look like you want anybody but Shedeur Sanders to even see the field. And you don't want to be part of the ABS coalition. Hey, we done already did it with Tyler Huntley. We keep doing it with these other guys. Tyler Huntley going to play this game. And he's somewhere walking around. I don't even know what roster he's on. At the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders should be the number 2 quarterback on the roster. You should be preparing to get him ready to play, as you should have been from Jump Street. And there is no other quarterback, including the conversation. I do find it funny, Dustin. I find it funny that all of a sudden people have dusted off Deshaun Watson.
We're getting to Deshaun next. Don't worry.
We'll get to that because
he's coming.
That is something that's going to be fascinating. I didn't think we'd ever have that conversation again, but here we are. So that question that you asked, Mikey, is how did you word it?
Yeah, that's the key.
How did you word the question?
Who will be?
I think we all agree who should be.
Yeah, I think
will.
Yeah, I both appropriately pointed out that that's the qualifier there. Because when you throw the word will, now you're trying to guess what the Browns are going to do. Right. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
I mean, Bailey Zappe should be the backup, I think.
Really?
I do. I mean, I think that Shedeur's not ready to play.
Well,
there was when you're the third string quarterback, that means that you are not close to getting in the game. When you're the backup, you got to be prepared like a starter to go in there and play. And come on, you think this guy's ready to play?
Yep.
You're nuts.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Based on what?
I mean, I don't. Well, here's the thing. He's ready to play just as much as Dillon Gabriel, right?
No.
Well, here's the thing. What did Dillon Gabriel show you that makes him light years ahead of Shedeur Sanders?
What did he show me? I mean,
now,
first off, he played an NFL game and nearly won it on the road in London.
Okay.
But Shedeur hasn't had that opportunity.
No, I understand that, but
we're you got to project.
I'm also looking at what he did in the preseason and what we've heard from the Browns.
See, that's the big
point.
Key. That's the key.
Which we've heard,
and they've only been whispers right now.
But all I'm saying is this: if we've been hearing, this is my problem with the Browns' credibility. if they told us with their credibility that Kenny Pickett was the best.
Are you talking about players or are you talking about management?
I guess I'm just talking about like
'Cause I'm hearing-
what we've heard in terms of his level of competency to be ready, to understand, to prepare, maturity, like all those things. What he did last week with this in the locker room.
Hey.
I mean, that's something that like
I don't think
a high
it
school
helped his
kid
call.
does.
Yeah, I don't think it helped his call.
I look at it like this. If we talking about what we've heard, here's the thing that is the scary part about it. We've heard that Pickett was the best. Then we heard Flacco gave you the best chance. And then we found out both of those things were incorrect, factually incorrect. They've jettisoned both of them. From the get-go, the plan was we're gonna have this quarterback competition. They lied about that. That wasn't it. If you were here and they had the level of credibility, right? If I was to believe what they wanted to tell me, then Kenny Pickett still should be here if it was about getting people ready.
Well, don't you think the injury, though, forced their hand?
Not
with that?
really.
Like, if you're hurt, you can't get on the field.
But guess what?
It changed their plan.
It's a thing called IR. Why would you need to move him? You could have set him on a roster, let his hamstring heal, and then when Joe Flacco was done, you could have put Pickett in, right?
You could have, but per Jason's mantra that this year is about figuring out what we have at quarterback, and I believe that now. I don't want to believe it. I don't like that that's the mantra because that's a white flag loser's mentality. I get it. But it's obviously apparent that is what is going on.
So we are here.
And if you get 5 games into the regular season, and now you're going to see if Kenny
Shedeur
Pickett's
Sanders on Sunday, if Dillon Gabriel goes down on Sunday, Shedeur Sanders, if he's the backup, is in the game.
Yeah.
The season's probably already cooked. I don't think they're going to win many games. But in terms of like, you will start to get blown out. He's not ready to play.
So if you put Bailey Zappe in the game, Bailey Zappe is not good.
No, he's not good. But you can't just be like, okay, well, let's just put this guy out there and see what happens.
At what point can
in
you,
week
Dustin?
6?
Because I kind of agree with what you're saying, but at what point, like, is it 1-7? Is it 1-10? At what point do you finally turn the page to, we absolutely have to see what we have here? Look, if you check the box that he can't play, then you've accomplished something. But if Bailey Zappe plays all year, I
mean, there's a reason they kept him on the active roster.
That's true.
They don't want to lose him, and they want to see if there's something that he has. But you have to be able to like prove to the coaches and earn their trust that you can go in there and capably run the offense.
Right, but I'm a little confused as how you're definitively saying he's not ready to play. Like, what are you?
I don't know. Did you watch him in college last year?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I did.
He's not ready.
I wonder, Dustin, when you say that, I have heard not firsthand.
Yeah.
I've heard from reporters that go in there every day and have off the record conversations with players. That they say nowhere near being ready.
Well, I haven't heard that, but that even adds to my thoughts about it and based off of what I've seen and what I know about the player, and then on top of it, the maturity level, all that stuff, dude.
What came to mind?
You guys want to see him play? Go ahead.
Last week, what came to mind when he went with the miming thing was the comment, "We need an adult in the room," and I feel like I'm not quite sure why. I'm not going to try to dive into his head and say why Shedeur did that, but it's pretty easy to look at the whole situation and see how it was received, not just by those around the league, but by those inside the Browns organization.
You know what, though? Listen, I didn't like what he did, but this has now been made way too big a deal of. Okay? The guy, first of all, I don't know why the Browns are allowing the media to interview
That's
him.
the better point,
honestly.
Bull.
They
keep
put
him
him
away
in a tough
from the
spot.
media.
They
Why
put
did
him in
you
a
talk
tough
to the
spot.
third-string quarterback?
Here's what's happened with the whole Shedeur Sanders
Supposed to be an adult, though, isn't he? He's a professional athlete.
but, people do immature things
It's
sometimes.
not a freshman at Ohio State.
He's not the first young NFL player to do something a little immature. He's under the microscope more than any. Like, what's happened is the diehard Shedeur fans are so intense that now what's happened is everybody else is annoyed by that. So they're taking it out on Shedeur Sanders.
I think that's true, Bull.
I'm not taking anything out on the kid.
I'm not talking about you specifically.
I actually think the kid has a chance to be an NFL starting quarterback, but it's going to take some time. And if you want to ruin his opportunity, put him out there right now. He's not
the starter right now.
Well, if he's the backup, he's one play away.
I mean,
in this offense, that could be
at some point in time, the same way we sit here.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You think a fifth-round quarterback who clearly has proven to the coaching staff he's not ready to play? This organization has run out 5 different offensive lines. for 5 games in a row.
Sure.
Different.
Sure.
And that kid had no offensive line. You saw what he did in college?
Sure.
I mean,
here's what I'm saying.
I don't want to ruin the kid.
At the end of the day, when you talk about ruining, you got to have an opportunity to prove what you can do. Not on the sidelines, not what the narratives say. The reality of the situation is people are freaking out because he is one step away from playing. At the end of the day, I just saw Joe Flacco play and it wasn't good. At the end of the day, I keep seeing all these other quarterbacks get into the game. And here's the thing. The referendum is not on Shedeur Sanders. The referendum is on your coaching staff. The coach blew a whole game last week. The problem is that we're sitting here talking about Shedeur Sanders and what he said in his immaturity when we should be talking about whether or not your coach is actively able to get quarterbacks ready to play, is his offense ready to go, and can he be competent? It's about competency, not narratives. At the end of the day, we talk about our quarterbacks in 26. I don't know about the coach or the GM, but what I do know, Bull, is at some point in time, I already know what Bailey Zappe is. I am not going to go to people in my locker room and say that a guy we sign off the practice squad is better than a guy that we've drafted. And this is what people are saying. If you wanted Bailey Zappe,
but I don't think. But that's not what Dustin's saying.
I don't want Bailey Zappe.
No.
I mean, I don't. I think he's any better than Joe Flacco.
Well, here it is. At some point, you got to give the person an opportunity to show what he can do and show and prove.
Right, but
That's
I think there's also a narrative that anybody that says Shedeur's not ready to play is a hater, and that's not the case.
No. I'm looking for the proof. I remember. Listen. We ain't scored no points, right? Shedeur Sanders against the Panthers scored how many points? How many touchdowns did he throw? I saw good accuracy. I saw touch. I saw all of that. I also saw there was a game against the Philadelphia Eagles where Dillon Gabriel made mistakes, and we chalked it up from him being a rookie. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to give Dillon Gabriel grace to make mistakes in games like that and throw a pick six and fumble the football and then give him an opportunity to come back and show himself, you got to at least give Shedeur Sanders the opportunity to prove on the football field that he is either a player or not. And let the merit stand where it's at. If he goes out there and plays terrible, it is what it is. But this thing about we're going to keep moving people ahead so we can just keep pushing backwards is ridiculous.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying.
I personally think that they've been trying to stash Shedeur on the active roster so that he can't be plucked by somebody else, and they're bringing him along slowly. Like
that used to be a real thing in the NFL.
It should be a real thing.
It's not.
You got a guy that everyone was hyped up to be a first-round pick. You got him in the 5th round. Clearly, he wasn't going to be a first-round pick, and it was all overhyped. We know that. But he's here now.
Yeah.
And he showed some good things. Like,
He did.
physically, he's got some gifts. He can throw a beautiful ball. He looks like an NFL quarterback. But, upstairs, what it takes to prepare. The guy doesn't – everyone who covered him coming out of college, who were in those meetings, was like, this dude doesn't know how to do the whiteboard. So you think that guy is ready to play and prepare as a starter?
Here's what I'm saying.
Okay, Garrett. Brother, you can see it. You can see it. You're going to regret it. I promise you that.
Did you didn't hear me say he should? Did I say he should start today? We talk about the backup role, Dustin. We're not talking about. We didn't say start.
You just said that he should be based on merit, right?
Yeah.
Well, merit would be put him in the game.
No. Merit is, look, if you look and watch from Jump Street, when he got here, he didn't get no reps. No first team reps. That's fine. He's a 5th round pick, remember? So he chilled that out. Dillon Gabriel got reps over him. If you picked him in the 3rd round, we know how the game over. 3rd round, 5th round. Guess what? Whatever. Came back to the playing time when it was Kenny Pickett and Flacco. He was 4th on the depth chart, right? He didn't jump up and down. You know what he did? He went out there and kept working. First dude in practice, last dude in practice, throwing extra to people. Guess what? At the end of the day, he didn't say anything. He started the season 4th on the depth chart. He was still 3rd on the depth chart. What you're saying is bring him along slowly. I don't know how much. Where's the fast track to anything they're doing? They have brought him along slowly. They moved on from Joe Flacco. Now it's like, okay, you got 2 quarterbacks. One's on the pup list with Deshaun Watson. The other person is Bailey Zappe on the practice squad. Now you're telling me that, he can't, it's still too fast to make him the backup quarterback. At the end of the day, they didn't slow walk it as all possible.
I think there's a possibility that the Browns might consider doing something in between that we haven't discussed here. Is they may, and this may not be a terrible idea.
I know where you're going with
Make
this.
Bailey Zappe the backup. This way, if Dillon Gabriel does get hurt, you're not throwing Shedeur Sanders in the middle of the game. So, for example,
Get him ready for the whole week.
right,
leading up
this
to
way,
it.
if Bailey Zappe's the backup this week and Dillon gets hurt, well, Bailey Zappe finishes the game. And then you can decide after that, do we want Shedeur starting the next game?
Adam,
at least
that
he'd start the
that
whole
is
game.
a very reasonable idea.
Yeah, it's very logical.
I think it's a very
and that's
logical,
why-
a very
I don't think
reasonable
they'll
idea.
do it.
and actually, that's what they should do.
Yeah,
That would-
because
That's
Bull,
what
I
they
agree
should
with
do.
you
because,
on that.
Because listen, if Gabriel goes down, say he tears his knee up, he's done for the year.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in the middle of that game, you want to put the veteran in.
Sure.
In that spot. Okay, that's I think an unfair situation for a kid who's really.
Especially because you're going to change the offense.
Yeah,
there.
and then
So-
give him a full week to get ready.
Then you have a full week, or maybe two, to get him ready to go.
Sure.
Like maybe Zappe takes one start, then you say we're going to try to get him ready for whatever it is, the second week from now.
Right. The one thing that, G, I think you made a lot of valid points. The one thing that I would point out, you said it's not a referendum on Shedeur Sanders. It actually is. In the NFL, they don't care if the coach got you ready to play. It was a referendum on Joe Flacco, not the coach, when he couldn't do it. And if Dillon can't do it, it will be a referendum on Dillon Gabriel if he can't do it. And the same with Shedeur Sanders. If he comes in and doesn't do it, now suddenly we can't look at the coach and say, oh, it's all his fault. If the guy that is in the game, you said this a couple of weeks ago, and I agree with you. If you're in the NFL game, if you're in the game, you're going to be judged as you're in the game.
That's it.
That's it, period. So you can't say, well, it can't be Shedeur's fault that he wasn't good. It's got to be the coach's fault because he wasn't prepared. It falls on the player. It's the player's responsibility. He's the only one out there that can make live reads. He's the only one out there that can make live decisions as to where to throw the football.
We
know
last
it is a
year,
referendum.
Jay, sorry to cut you off, but we know last year that, really 2 years in a row, that DTR played a couple of times where he was not prepared to play.
Absolutely.
And yet, we know that as covering this team. But if you ask fans that are not Browns fans, like other fans,
They don't care.
They'll be like, "Oh, that guy sucks."
Absolutely.
They're not saying, "Well, the coach didn't have him prepared." Fair or not, doesn't even matter. That's the way it. That's the
it.
reality. of the
That's
situation.
pro sports.
Even from a logistical standpoint, you got
No. I was just saying we got
Go ahead.
Leroy, so 2 minutes. And
What's
we'll
your?
right
Do
there.
you have?
from a logistical standpoint.
Yeah.
Let's just, if you take the emotion out of it and you just break it down to its lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get somebody ready and he's not the starter and Dillon Gabriel's the starter,
Yeah.
what you want Shedeur Sanders to do is the exact same thing Dillon Gabriel had the opportunity to do with Joe Flacco. When he was the backup quarterback, he got to sit in the meetings and understand every single call.
Yes.
He got to go over the checks. He got to understand what it sounds like when Kevin calls the plays, what they're looking for,
Yeah.
getting involved in the game
So he
plan.
knows what it's
So
gonna
he
look and feel
knows
like.
what it is. So in order to get that, you actually have to be the backup. And guess what? Dillon Gabriel came in garbage time a few times with Joe Flacco. He threw a touchdown, gained a little confidence. But when you logistically talk about it, that is prepared. We say preparation and we throw it in the air like it's some mythical stat. When you say prepare, it says structure. It says this is the game plan. This is how we want to go about doing things. And when you have that opportunity, that is preparing
He is
you.
in on all the meetings, though.
But
It's not like he's
The
excluded on
the
any
third
of the
string
meetings.
quarterback can't listen to the
He
coach.
can.
But listen,
No, he can't.
here's what
They do.
Here's what I'm saying. It's a difference between you being the third string quarterback
Right.
and you going through the walkthroughs and you're the emergency guy, and the difference between you being one play away from playing. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think coaches always take this approach. Like, everybody better prepare like they're one play from being in the game. Because even if you're third string, you're 2 plays away from being in the game. So you've got to be prepared. And preparation's on the player. I mean, the coaching staff is responsible for getting them ready. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know what the Browns' machinations are on treating the third string quarterback. I don't know. I'm sure he's in on all the meetings. I'm sure he's in with all the game planning. It's up to him as to how serious he takes it in terms of, hey, I better learn and absorb all this because I'm 2 plays away from being out there.
You know,
We won now.
Yesterday on the show, we had a DD on, and I said, you know, like let's say Dillon Gabriel plays for the next month and he's okay, but it's nothing really. I said, at some point do you just play Shedeur because the fans want to see him? And
I don't think
maybe
that's the reason to do it.
Maybe just do something for the fans for once because you never do.
No.
Yeah, but Bull,
No.
that's a slippery
Oh,
slope.
No.
it's in general.
What was
a
your
very
answer?
stupid
Like, how did
No.
you answer
Well,
that?
no, she said no. That's not.
Yeah, no,
that's
I-
not good for the team, and I get it in
Yeah.
general, but
You play him because he's good. You play him
play him
because
because you come to the decision that he
because
can
he
do
can
it.
play.
Yeah.
I'm not doing charity.
Not because
speeches.
the media or the fans
We've
want.
gotten to
Well,
the
but
point
Gene,
where it's a charity speech.
to your point, then what if Kevin Stefanski truly believes that Shedeur Sanders is not ready to play? Then, based on that,
Well, here's what I say all the
Yeah.
time: if he don't play him, go ahead. Deal with what comes with that.
I hear you, but I'm asking you if Kevin Stefanski truly believes that Shedeur Sanders is not ready to play,
He shouldn't
should
play him
not
if
play?
he thinks he's not ready.
If Kevin Stefanski, here's the way life works. If Kevin
Yeah.
Stefanski does not believe that he's not going to play, and he doesn't feel he's ready to play, or does not want him to play, he's the head coach. If he does not do that, he has to live with the consequences of what happens if he doesn't play.
I don't know that there's any
Yeah,
consequences.
what's the
consequences if he doesn't play?
I mean, I think
Just fans being angry, but fans are angry anyway.
Here's what I'm saying. The consequences of what I'm talking about is, you saw what happened with Joe Flacco. They trotted him out here. He was not good, and people was hot. People was hot. And at the end of the day, Kevin Stefanski is coaching for his job. Let's not be clear. Let's
Right,
clear
but the fans are not
But
deciding
but guess what? Guess who is? The owner is listening to the fans. So guess what? It ain't the fans that'll get you up out of here. Your merits is your merits. If you want to win or lose or who you got on the football field, deal with what happens with that. If you want to win 2-3 games, we'll see if you keep your job at the end of the year.
Well, but if he's decided, right or wrong, if he decided that if we're just basing it on who gives you the best chance to win, and he doesn't think Shedeur Sanders gives him a chance to win, then he shouldn't play.
So, well, guess what? He won't play him.
Yeah.
And then, like, as I said, you got to now deal with what you
Yeah,
got.
I mean, we saw this in Pittsburgh a couple of years, and the Steelers they're a well-run organization. They heard the fans on Canada as the offensive coordinator. It was as bad as I've heard a team go after an assistant
Right, but I don't know.
coach.
I
But
doubt
to
that's
their
why he
credit-
lost their job.
To their credit,
Yeah.
they didn't pivot because of the fans.
Right, yeah.
They ran it out. At the end of the season, they made the change.
Yeah.
And the thing with the fans here, like, our fan base is squeaky for 30 years.
Yeah.
Why? Because we lose.
Yeah.
So the fan base is always going to be squeaky. My fear is if the
Deservedly
coaches
so.
and the owners start listening to and reacting to fan base, you get what you deserve.
Yeah.